This edition of the Ridley Report is brought to you by the Next 1000 Pledge at pledgebank.com/next1000.
Free Ward Bird! Free Ward Bird! Free Ward Bird! Free Ward Bird!
A powerful, spontaneous display as Granite Staters began pushing back against the judicial system. Technically, though, beginning may not be the right word for it. These folks are demanding the release of Moultonborough resident Ward Bird, who they say received an excessive sentence for simply defending his home. But while their display of numbers is impressive, it's not the first time New Hampshireites have tried to rein in the judicial system. There is a history here, and a wide variety of additional methods these folks will have at their disposal. Here's a few they may not have thought of yet, and a look at where we've been before.
Somehow, someway, they've been keeping tabs on me.
That's Child Protective Services opponent Jonathan Irish, testifying at the State House in Concord. But it's not just another legislative hearing. This is one of the newly reconstituted Petition for Redress hearings, where state reps give the floor to disgruntled victims of allegedly abusive bureaucrats. Ward Bird supporters, who call themselves bird watchers, should be able to have a field day with one of these. The committee members could request the presence of the prosecutor and/or judge, and both will likely lose in the court of public opinion, whether they show up or not. My advice to the bird watchers: contact State Rep Paul Ingbretson, schedule a petition for redress hearing as soon as possible, schedule a rally to occur outside the State House just before or just after the hearing. Lobbying attempts are already underway to get a pardon from the governor for Ward Bird, but that begs the question, what happens if Governor Lynch does not grant the pardon? One option might be a resolution in the State House and Senate, known as a CACR, calling for Bird's pardon or release. Another option could be impeachment. I have no idea how that works in New Hampshire or if it's ever been done before. But we've been condemned to live in interesting times. We might as well make the most of it. Bird supporters also apparently are underway with some sort of negotiations with the correctional institutions, or at least they're talking about it, that would result in Bird being able to get into a sort of work release or halfway house situation. One Moultonborough resident, at least, is furiously lobbying his fellow residents to get involved in cutting the police department's budget by 30%. Obviously, he blames them for Bird's arrest initially, which, of course, eventually led to this excessive sentence. I'm sorry I haven't gotten you more coverage of this and gotten it faster, but now that I've gotten some internet connectivity issues resolved, I'll be pulling my weight. Shooting video and stills of what's going on, that's important. And if you contact me via RidleyReport.com to let me know what you've got, I can make good use of your video and stills. There's another option that I found to be effective before I discovered YouTube. I called it the silent protest. It only takes one of you to do it. If I was angry about something the government was doing, I would find 4 or 5 different bureaucrat and politician offices of people who I thought were guilty. And I'd just stand there with some sort of protest sign in their lobby until told to leave. If people asked me questions, I'd just hand them a flyer that listed my grievance and refuse to speak to them. I'd always keep a polite demeanor and walk backwards slowly after being told to leave. It's hard for anybody to really get angry at you when you're doing this, and it's guaranteed that every bureaucrat eye in the office in question will be watching you as you slowly leave their parking lot backwards. It generates gossip, and you can do it by yourself. Of course, you don't really have to be in New Hampshire to pitch in this situation. If you look at the video description for this clip, I'll try to post a link that explains all the ways you can get involved from a distance if you have a problem with some government activity in New Hampshire.
Why is it that hundreds of liberty lovers have moved and continue to move to New Hampshire? In part, it's because of the Free State Project's first 1,000 pledge. The success of that pledge gave this man an idea. Max Abramson of New Hampshire is starting what he calls the Next 1,000 Pledge, designed to get another 1,000 Free Staters into New Hampshire by 2011. To find out more, visit pledgebank.com/next1000.